What is even the point? How about some evidence? Listen, Candace, if you're going to accuse his wife, the president, Emmanuel Macron, Egypt, of killing him, show us the evidence. Stop exposing him for queening out a little bit to Nicki Minaj and Monster. Those are the texts we want to see. What is the purpose of this other than to embarrass your friend?
Is Nick Fuentes switching sides? Here's a couple clips that would make you think so. Take a look.
Honestly, I'm getting really irritated with the fans. I'm getting really irritated with a lot of you people. Because it's like, if you lately, here's how I feel about it. And the way it's always been this way. I've been doing this show for 10 years. And for the most part, my views have not changed. I can think of maybe some examples, but for the most part, my views have stayed exactly the same. We are in an era now where everybody is aware of the Jews, aware of race, conspiracies, all these things. And now, if you're not just like, if you don't just sound like the biggest, most belligerent retard, racist, Jew hater, whatever, then people say, oh, you're selling out. Oh, you're softening your message. You know, for example, the other night, people are asking me about Gypsy Crusader. And I said, I'm against violence. I'm against this idea of a violent revolution and killing people. I'm against screaming at little kids online. I don't think that's helping anybody. And people say, oh, he has to say that. I've been saying that for 10 years, that I'm against political violence. And yesterday we're talking about Venezuela. And I said that it's America first to actually use our military to secure vital American interests. And I would count Venezuela among them, actually. And I don't necessarily support a violent regime change, but in principle, I'm not against it. If you want to be against how he's doing it, that's one thing. But I'm not in principle against him meddling in another country's affairs. And you get people saying, oh, this is neoconservatism. That's not neoconservatism. That's realism. It's a completely different tradition. So I got to be honest. We have reached, I think, the high watermark. We've reached a level of adoption like a technology. Anti-Semitism is like a technology. We've reached a stage in the adoption of anti-Semitism and other things where now it actually might be time to start to refine. Because now it's just attracting a lot of idiots. And I'm going to be straight up with you. I will not be held hostage by idiots that don't know what they're talking about.
So the chief Jew hater is now having to call back his fans. He's created a monster, essentially. He's created something he can no longer control, and now they're going much past him and looking at him as the so-called Fed, as the so-called Zionist, agent. And here's another clip of Nick Fuentes basically saying, you guys are so dumb. I want to join the Jews.
Matthew P. is a troll. Please remove him. Sent $20. Why not just accept the fact that the super chatters are the goys in the first place? By the way, as a Zionist, I enjoy watching your show. The pain you feel from super chats is the pain we feel from goys. Maybe you should join us. We welcome you with open arms.
I think about it all the time. Switching teams so that I can hurt you guys. You're pushing me to the other team. What if I just joined up with them? It would be like the Thanos gauntlet. And then I would be on the other side oppressing all of you. Wouldn't that feel good for a change? I would never. But I think about it frequently. I fantasize about it.
So he fantasizes about switching over to the so-called Jewish side. Okay, so that was that. And it's again, it shows the level of shocking Jew hatred when you have even Nick Fuentes calling these people out. And, speaking of people he called out, he actually called out Candace Owens as well in this clip where she shared private messages with Charlie Kirk, continuing to try to milk his death.
Then she posts the screenshots. This is rough stuff. Guys, this is rough. How do I zoom in on this? So she posts a screenshot. She's doing this, please. It's making me feel bad. I didn't even like Charlie Kirk. And the way they are doing him, it's disgusting. The way that she is taking advantage of this for her own benefit. Talk about milking it. Dude, his udders are chapped. The way that she is milking this tragedy and his death, it's actually disgusting. Posting screenshots of their texts. It's been almost 2 months. What purpose does this serve? Let the man rest. Charlie says, Sasquatch, Godzilla, this is more lyrics from the song. Godzilla, King Kong, Loch Ness, Goblin, Ghoul, Zombie with no conscience. And then he does this emoji. I'm getting secondhand embarrassment and he's dead, okay? He says, when Nikki drops, I lose my mind. She replies, she is the best. I do my weights to that song. Jay-Z's verse is amazing too. Makes me think of where I'm at. All I get is these fake fucks with no fangs trying to draw blood from my ice cold veins. That's another lyric. Yes, it gets the blood flowing. I am about to run a few miles jamming to it. Candace replies, I am loving your hip hop development. I'm deceased. That's it. I'm dead. I'm deceased. How could she do him so dirty like this? She is... Candace, you're not doing what you think you're doing. This is wrong, okay? This is wrong. What is even the point? How about some evidence? Listen, Candace, if you're going to accuse his wife, the president, Emmanuel Macron, Egypt, of killing him, show us the evidence. Stop exposing him for queening out a little bit to Nicki Minaj and Monster. Those are the texts we want to see. What is the purpose of this other than to embarrass your friend? This is getting a little ridiculous.
So obviously my opinion on those text messages is not important here. I think, those are private. They shouldn't be shared. But the point is, she continuously is trying to drag out this story for her own benefit, in order to continue to gain viewership. If you look at her YouTube channel, she had never had the type of viewership she's having right now with the death of Charlie Kirk, because there are many people that are interested in this so-called investigation that she's launching. And part of it is actually attacking whoever and whomever she pleases, attacking figures like Erica Kirk, the wife of Charlie Kirk, the last person that Charlie would want her to attack. And it's so weird how she pretends like she's the closest person to Charlie when there's not a photograph of them together, I think in about a year or maybe more. So she wasn't like the friend of Charlie Kirk. He hadn't even retweeted her in a long time. I don't think they followed each other on Instagram. Now, perhaps they were good friends in the past, but obviously that wasn't the case, leading up to his death. So that was that clip. And this final clip is actually Nick talking about the contributions of Jews to America.
Jews in the history of America. It's just true. The cultural output. And before people, but Hollywood is Jewish and Hollywood is filth. Some of your favorite movies are made by Jews. Songs, Christmas songs, the atom bomb. We cannot be one-dimensional. We have to be comprehensive. The problem is not that Jews are I saw this the other day. I think it was Jake Shields. He's like, Jews didn't even invent hummus. It's like, so is your position that all Jews are evil and everything they do is bad and they never invented everything and the only reason they've ever gotten any position of power is because they're just pure evil? It's like, that's not true. Yes, Jews have been a remarkable people. It's just not even deniable. That's not the issue. The issue is their loyalty. The issue is their political self-interest, which inherently pushes America towards liberalism. That is beginning to describe the issue. But I mean, look, it's just true. Many of them are very bright. Many of them are very, Jewish comedians, some of the funniest people. Like they are remarkable people. That's just without a doubt. And I think you come across as dishonest or biased if you are unwilling or unable to admit that.
All right, so that was that. Again, I want to reiterate 100 times fold. Nick Fuentes is not a good guy. This man just went on Tucker Carlson and talked about how, what he talks about, anti-Semitism, etc. Point is, he's not a good guy. But even Nick Fuentes, I find to be much more rational than Candace Owens, than even Tucker Carlson at times, than a lot of these like weird, extra conspiratorial Jake Shields, these new age sort of anti-Semites that take it way too far. I actually respect the fact that he's not gaslighting. He's not representing himself as a conservative leader who is, mainstream or is somewhat normal. He is very clear that he doesn't like Jews, that he is an anti-Semite. He's very clear about that. Now, Tucker and Candace brand themselves as totally normal, non-racist, non-anti-Semitic people. And you're like, okay, you're not an anti-Semite, so why are you saying this and this? Oh, no. I was just asking questions. And it's a very, I think, a very, fake way of going about it. So at least Nick, for instance, has the, I wouldn't say bravery, but at least he has the honesty to come out and say his actual opinions, versus Candace and Tucker try to hide behind them with this like, I'm just asking questions. I find it gross. I find it obvious. And I think they're getting exposed on the daily. If you believe in what we do here over at Jewish Uncensored, consider supporting us in a few different ways. You can support us monetarily by going to buymeacoffee.com/JewishUncensored. You can also go to our new merchandise store, IsraelUncensored.com, where we just dropped a bunch of new merch. Additionally, to gain access to exclusive content, you can go to our memberships tab on this channel and join there. And finally, you can share this video with both family and friends in order to share this message with the world. Thank you so much for your support.